Hello, and today we're going to cover a bit of camera equipment, and the reason why I'm covering this camera equipment is because I've used this bit for quite a while and it's become a kind of favorite really. It's become a go-to piece of equipment that I use all of the time, and this isn't sponsored, this isn't, you know, a company giving me the bag or anything like this. It's something I've bought myself, and it's something I've bought myself, used it, got a few marks on it. You know, it's got a bit of wear and tear to it, and that's what these things are all about. And to my mind, if you get something and you use it for a continuous period and a sustained period, then you really do know what this product is all about, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, whether the quality's not good, whether it's very good, and so on. And that's how I like to do it. I don't want to have something for an hour and then say, oh, this is brilliant, and then find out that 2 weeks down the line it falls apart. Well, that's not this. This is a Langley Alpha Globetrotter backpack. It's a DSLR backpack. It's meant to be for traveling or putting all of your camera equipment inside of it, and so it's protected from the weather, knocks, bumps, etc. Now, I've got quite a lot of camera equipment that I kind of use when I feel like it or when I need to, and some people might say I've got too much, and that might be correct because some other stuff you don't use all of the time, but this is something I use all of the time, and it's become basically a bit of a companion really for trips and camera walking expeditions or days out, or just for general photography, even if you sling it in the car. But what I tend to do is use this on my back on a motorbike most of the time. So this thing gets bumped around on my back on a motorbike as I go around to various places to do little bits of photography, etc. So it has to be fairly robust. It has to be waterproof because you do get caught out in some horrendous storms, especially in the UK now and again. And it also has to be durable, very durable. And I found in the past that some of these bags that you can buy are not durable enough because the straps start to come apart here and here with the weight of the backpack, and the fasteners, especially if they're zip tight, tend to break or they start to leak, and that's never good when you've got a lot of really expensive equipment inside of it. Or, to be honest, even if you're using it to pack your clothes in to go on a trip, you don't want them getting soaking wet on the back of a bike. So we're going to take a look at this Langley Alpha Globetrotter, and it's different. It's a very different type of camera bag, but it's also one that stands out, and it stands out for more than just the way it looks. So let's take a look. So the first thing you'll notice about this bag is it's huge. It's very bulky, it's very big, it's very military-esque in style. It has quite a few leather accents, such as a leather badge. It's got leather pulls, so you can put your finger around to snap open and close the press studs here, which are really good. And these aren't flimsy press studs either, they're very robust. They're brass, and as you might be able to see, there's a little bit of the bronze coming through the paint on the edges, and that's like that from new. Basically, you do see a little bit of kind of golden colour on the edges of the black painted studs, which is fine, and it adds a slightly different visual to the bag itself. It's got this rubberized coating all over it, which is waterproof, very waterproof, and it's very good at keeping the water out of the bag itself. Although it does mark quite easily. You will get marks and scratches and scrapes on it through use, but really I think that kind of adds to its look, to be honest, and it doesn't detract from the bag at all. It's just that rubberized style coating which does its job, is very effective, but it does mark if you kind of scrape it against something, and it's not one of those marks that you can kind of rub out or, you know, polish out. So, you know, if you're worried about things showing up slight marks, then maybe, you know, you're not really after this kind of bag. If it's more of a day bag that you want to carry a single camera, maybe a jumper or a lightweight coat, then this may be too big for you. This may be not quite the right bag, but for me this is absolutely perfect. It has large pockets on the front that you can put, well, I put all of my charger equipment in there, and as you can see it folds over with big flaps on the pockets and these leather pull tabs to help you locate the stud and lock it in place, which is really neat. It has a weatherproof zip all the way around the second pocket, which is behind this first rather big pocket, and it's quite a chunky unit. You can't get away from it. It's very military kind of looking. Now, one thing you might notice is I have a tripod in a carrier in a bag actually on the top. Well, and there's a reason for that, and that's my preference, is because on the bottom of this bag there are two loops which you can attach the tripod to, but it sits on the bottom of the bag and across the bottom in the same way as it does to the top. Now if you're on a motorbike or similar, you've got this kind of rubbing on the seat, and also it makes it awkward to stand the bag up like this, and I find that this sometimes presses into the base of the bag and it pushes up against the cameras as well. So that's where I prefer to put it. You might not even want to use a tripod, but you know, a large tripod like this, you will have trouble trying to fit it in the bag without having it strapped to the bottom or the top, because the side pockets, although very big, are not quite deep enough to put the tripod or this kind of tripod in them. Okay, but if you have a small lightweight tripod, then yeah, it will fit in the pockets, and you could just have a little strap around here to this just to keep it secure so it doesn't fall out. But that's probably the only major downside to this bag. On the sides you have two pockets, one on each side. Again, pull straps with very good weatherproofing because they come 3/4 of the way down the pocket itself. And in here I tend to carry things like spare lenses, such as here, and again they're very secure once you fold these tabs over. Okay. And again, it does give it a very good sense of weatherproofing because everything tucks underneath the flap. So I don't think, or never have had, to be honest, problems with waterproofing on this bag. If you're really concerned, then you can put, if you're carrying a lens or something, or maybe an adapter or a charger, then you can put it inside of another bag inside the pocket if you're at all worried about it. And it has another pocket on the other side exactly the same. So if we spin the bag around, you'll see that it has a padded backpack area or backrest area, which is nice, and it's a raised area which is quite comfortable, even with, you'll see in a moment, the weight that I put in this bag. The shoulder straps are nice and adjustable, and they've got extra webbing to stop them, as I said, tugging on the top of the bag when you're carrying something quite heavy for long distances, which on some bags tend to split where they join the bag itself. And again, extra strengthening and form of webbing underneath here, which is very similar to your seat belt or your kind of tie down strap webbing. Very strong, very effective. You have a chest, an upper and lower strap to stop the straps from coming apart when it's on you, especially if you need to run. And you've also got a lower strap which straps around your waist and clicks into place to prevent it from moving around while you're actually carrying the bag, which is nice. And it also, these kind of straps do take some of the pressure off when you're carrying something heavy as well, which is a very nice touch, which is something I found on my Van Gogh backpacks, which is the only reason I bought them for hiking, is because they had all of these extra webbing and straps to make them more durable and more comfortable on long distance hikes or long distance travels when you're carrying something heavy like this. And especially again if you're on a motorbike as well, it keeps it secure and it stops the wind picking up the bag and pulling it away from your shoulders. So they're ideal. Again, you've got the extra pocket here, which I don't have anything in at the moment, but it looks like I do because this material is very stiff and it always looks like the bag's got something in it. Okay, so we're coming to the front pocket and you can see in a minute how much weight I've got in this bag. Okay, so under this waterproof and weatherproof zip, you have this flap here, and at the moment I have three cameras, 3 DSLRs in here. I've got my venerable Sony Alpha in here, which is a very heavyweight camera on its own, a Lumix, which is my bridge camera, my Nikon, which is kind of my everyday sort of general use camera, and also a couple of large lenses. I've got one here and one in the pocket, and as you can see they all fit in there quite nicely, and it's very well padded. It's thickly padded, and I've also got weight in the top here, this pocket, which we'll go to in a minute, and it doesn't crush down on the cameras because it's supported all the way across the bag, which is something I found out on other camera bags, that this pushes down on the top of the cameras when you've got extra bulky or weighty items in there. This is pretty much supported on its own, which again, that's one of the big reasons why I think this bag is such a success and such a durable bag. So as I say, you can carry up to 4 DSLRs in there, or 4 cameras, whether it's regular SLRs if you're into that kind of photography, which I've got a couple of, which I think are great and I still use them now and again, or the heavier DSLR based cameras, which for some reason they do tend to be heavier in this form factor that you've just seen here than SLR cameras. Maybe it's because of the amount of batteries or that they use and the weight of them. They always appear to be heavier. Right, on the top we have this big flap, again to rugged pull, and then you can take this away. Okay, so that's where I put my tripod, and at the back you can see a very heavy duty leather handle to pick the bag up if you're not carrying it on your back, and it's very thick. It's a very robust and heavyweight item as well. It's something that's not going to fall apart as you use it. Under the flap you have another waterproof zip area, and then if I pull the flap down you can see you have another pocket here for maybe your phone and a label in case you forget your name, and I've got another camera in here as well. It's quite a heavy unit. Okay, and that's my FinePix bridge camera. It's one I just tend to carry around as it is if I'm not really wanting to carry any other kit. You have some extra pieces that you can put in for dividing up your compartments, which I don't need. Also behind here you got, obviously it's a very large compartment, as you can see. You kind of got plenty of room to put things in here, and it's very deep, but you've also got a zip behind here that you can slide a relatively big laptop or tablet in if you want to do some on-the-fly editing. So that's the basic bag, and as you can see it's very well constructed. There's plenty, I mean the size of this, just to give you an idea, there's plenty of room inside of it, and it's wide, it's big enough to keep another full-size DSLR or bridge camera in there with room to spare, and nothing's straining and nothing's being pulled. So this kind of bag is ideal for me. The only downside is that when you got it packed like this, it's very, very, very heavy, and you know, whether or not this is the type of bag for you or the amount of equipment that you want to keep in the bag or carry around with you, that's your choice. But if you do, then this Langley Alpha Globetrotter is an amazing piece of kit. And just to give you an idea, I'm just going to lay out everything on the table of what's exactly in this bag. So I'm just going to do that now to give you an idea of how much this can actually carry. Okay, so in the bag we have the 3 cameras in the lower compartment with the larger lens. In the top we have this bagged bridge camera, which is roughly the same size as this Lumix, and then we also have another lens and a tripod with room to spare. And all of this is quite a hefty lump really in the bag itself, and you'd need something very sturdy to carry all of this weight around. So this bag copes very, very well with this. And if I just bring this into shot here, you can see how it just stands up on its own. It's a very, very nice piece of kit. Might be not for everybody. It might not be the kind of bag that you need. It might not be the style that you need, or you don't need that kind of robustness. But if you need something to carry this amount of equipment or this weight, or even have room to put a spare jumper or jacket in there or coat or whatever, then this bag is probably the one for you. It would be worth considering. The downside is they're quite expensive. I think they're about £250 ish, probably the same in dollars, so they're not a cheap bag, but again, it's probably one that's going to last for a long time. So thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed this look at a very individual bag. So until next time, thank you. Please subscribe. See you soon. Bye bye.